Be careful who you work with. They might not have your best interests at heart. Last month, I said that I was very excited to be working with a new promoter named Underground Sound and to be playing the Moustache Bar in Dalston, London at the end of March. Things didn't quite go to plan. So they reached out to me initially, first through Instagram, and then I got an email with a range of different venues and dates. So far so good. But then the same day they called me, kind of pressing me for a response. And I did say to them up front that I would email them back tomorrow. But as the conversation went on, I said, okay, well, I'm looking at the Moustache Bar. It feels like the right size venue and it's a good date for me. And then they're like, okay, great, we'll book that in, we'll send you the contract. So immediately after it was announced, I started hearing not great things about this promoter. That they can be quite exploitative, that they don't really curate their lineups. And indeed, something I did know going in was that if I didn't sell enough, but in this case any, tickets by a certain time, I'd no longer be on the bill. Which doesn't really make sense because they've already announced it, but hey ho. Now this didn't bother me because I've already got another gig with Hotvox booked in. It's in the middle of April, 22nd of April, at the Phoenix in Cavendish Square. So if this didn't go ahead, it didn't really bother me. But about a week or so in, realising I didn't sell any tickets immediately, I just made an open and honest Instagram story and I said, look guys, if I don't sell any tickets, I won't end up on the bill. So if you want to come, buy your ticket now. And pretty much immediately someone messaged me. He phrased it differently today, more respectfully than this. But essentially telling me I shouldn't sell myself short. And there are loads of much better promoters out there that don't resort to these faux pay-to-play tactics. And that for me was a real learning experience. It was actually good for my self-esteem, if anything. And I appreciate this guy reaching out. Because it got me thinking I know I'm not that bothered about this whole thing, but still I should be more vigilant and I should be more careful. I've kind of just jumped without looking at where I'm going. And I ended up having this fairly stressful couple of weeks where I realised if this promoter is as bad as people are making them out to be, this could be a really rubbish gig that's not going to further my cause at all. And I've got to travel 2 hours to get there, plus the gig's in North London, which makes it more difficult for me to get to. It might cost me more than it'll benefit. And actually getting kicked off the bill would be the best case scenario. There was even a point where someone messaged me on Instagram saying, look, we want to come, but not if you get kicked off the bill. And because I had the Hotvox thing in April, the Phoenix gig sorted, it was like, you know what, just come to this. Just come to that. But as I said, I think what I've learned from this whole thing is just to be a bit more vigilant. And if people try those kind of sales tactics with me, they're pressuring you into an answer or getting you to make a decision quickly, to take a step back and actually say, no, hang on a minute, I want to make sure things are good on my end before I commit to anything. And any reasonable promoter, I think, would be okay with that. I talked about relationship building and, Hotvox are also a company that expect you to sell tickets and, all the kind of business side of things. But I also, and my experience with them has been that they also do care about maintaining relationships and they do give you at least a certain amount of support. I think it's fair to say that I didn't sell as many tickets for my previous gig at Theatreship as they had been expecting. But all that happened was, instead of playing another ticketed event in Soho, they've moved me to this thing, a free entry gig, right? The one in the Phoenix. So I'm still working with this promoter. I still have a relationship with them. It's just maybe it's a slightly different course than what was initially planned. I'm really looking forward to the gig at the Phoenix. If you can come, if you're near London or in London, I urge you to come. I'm going to be playing a 45-minute set. So that'd be great, get to play a few more songs. And I was able to choose my own support act. So I've got the amazing Abby Lake supporting me. I saw her when I played at the Merry Scaredy Cat Town and became a little bit intimidated actually, because not only has she got a great voice, she has this really authentic vibe to her that I love. I think watching her really, I mean, my game was up, but it made me up my game even more, you know, like that first song I was nervous, I was like, oh man, I hope I do a good job. That gig, by the way, Merry Cat Town, was so much fun, I love it. Let's make the Phoenix even better. Last month, in last month's video I also mentioned doing a photo shoot, so let's talk about that for a bit. It was so good. I worked with someone named Jazz, right? I met her at an open mic night in my hometown. So as well as being an artist, she's also a musician, so she's a musical artist as well. Plays in a band named Cellar Arts Collective. And yeah, whenever we've met, we've really kind of vibed. I get on with her really well, and then she showed me some of her photography on Instagram and I was really impressed with it. My own attempts at getting a cover image for my new EP history book weren't going to plan. That seems to be the theme of this video, things not going to plan. And I thought, you know what? Let's go for it. Let's hire her. Let's get some really good photos. We did it at a venue named Barnaby's Lounge. We picked a time when the pub was quite quiet. I really like Barnaby's Lounge. It's a great vibe. Also, like, even in Hastings, there are certain cliques and stuff like that. It can be quite, weirdly enough, it can be quite hard getting into the scene. Barnaby's have not been like that at all. I found it quite easy, actually, getting gigs in there. And Barnaby himself is a really cool guy. I would urge anyone in Hastings to check out Barnaby's Lounge. It's a bit pricey, but other than that, it's a great vibe, great environment. And I've always had a good time whenever I've been there. At the back of the pub, there was a space that I knew would look really good for the album cover, and I didn't end up having to like move some tables and chairs. And again, like, coincidentally, Barnaby himself was actually working that day that we came down there, and he was totally cool with it. Like, it was fine. I think he trusted that we would put everything back as it should be at the end. Now, for some reason, the word that pops in my head during this, like, to sum up the photo shoot, is comfortable. Yeah, I just felt so at ease the entire time. Maybe that's just a sign of Jazz being a true professional. But it was still quite, like, fun, jovial. You know, I could still make the odd little quip here and there and kind of be myself. But we were also incredibly efficient getting the photos done, which is something I really like. Like, even recording at the moment, working with Henry, I like how efficient we are. I'm not a perfectionist, I'll admit. But it was great. And I think even from Jazz's perspective, like, the environment worked so well. It was almost like it was set up for photography. Like, the lighting that we had there was really good. And then she kind of came in with her photographer's eye, talking about, like, the rule of thirds and the perspective and how everything should line up. And that made it really great. Like, I could kind of articulate to her as best as I can what I was thinking of. I could show her my early attempts at getting the photos. And it was a really good shoot. Great fun as well. My only criticism really is when she sent me back the edited photos. Maybe because I don't want to big myself up too much. Maybe I come across a little bit buoyant, a little bit energetic. She picked a lot of photos where I was like smiling, where I looked, you know, quite happy. And it's like, I want a serious photo. Like, I'm reading this book and, like, you know, I'm like, you know, I don't know, in a reflective mood or whatever. But there were some in there that had more of that vibe. And there was one in there particularly that I thought, yeah, this works. This can be the front cover. And in fact, not just that, we had great images for a back cover, potentially inside art. I'm currently looking into getting some CDs pressed. So I know now that I'm going to have some really good artwork. Hopefully this is going to be a really good looking EP when it comes out, and hopefully to have some, you know, not just on streaming, but like to have some physical copies. I trust they're going to look really good. There's one thing I wanted to wrap up with. Oh yeah, content. So I've spoken quite a lot about content in these videos. In fact, this is going back to last month. I mentioned about being on my way to 2,000 Instagram followers. I got there, but not without difficulty. For some reason, like, after the Theatreship gig and promoting Sycamore Gap, like, January and February, I was gaining, like, I think 200 followers the first month. I gained another 300. Like, I was convinced, like, I will get to 2,000 Instagram followers in March, and I was convinced I'd do it before my birthday. which was on the 13th. And it just stagnated. It was really odd. I kept putting out content, and the only thing I can think of is I feel like maybe Sycamore Gap's not resonating, at least not on a wider level. Because some people have actually been very complimentary about the song. I've even had comments saying, like, your songwriting's getting better, or your singing's getting better, blah, blah, blah. One person was, when I kind of announced the song, they were like, I care quite a lot about the Sycamore Gap tree, like, do it justice. And then they came back to me later on, they're like, actually, yeah, you did it justice, this is a good song. And he seems to have become a genuine fan, you know, liking some of my Instagram stories, etc. I'm pretty sure it's a good song. Maybe it's just, it doesn't have that wide appeal. Maybe Spirit London and Birmingham Bin Strike worked on a more mainstream level. It has made me rethink my strategy. Because also, frankly, putting out a song every month has been a lot of work. You know, like the YouTube content, and then like the lyric video and stuff, and then doing all the Instagram, the short form content, updating the Spotify playlists and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's definitely been like keeping up on top of it alongside everything that's going on in my life. So I think once History Book's out, I've got loads more material that I can put out, and I am working on some more music to come out, but I think I'm now going to leave a gap. And perhaps the next project will have a more traditional release, like there'll be a couple of singles and then I'll drop the rest of it. We'll see how that goes. One thing I need to remember is I'm still in the History Book era, and not to be demoralised by Sycamore Gap not doing that well. In April we have The Irish Famine coming out. That's what it's called. It's a song about the Irish famine. You can look forward to that coming out the week after Good Friday. A song about the Irish famine would not suit a Good Friday release. So yeah, 10th of April that comes out. That's gonna be fun with the short form content. Angry Irish people. No, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. I have no idea how I'm gonna market it yet. Should have thought that through before I had the whole monthly singles thing. But yeah, I still stand by History Book. I think it's still really good. I think like Sycamore Gap not doing as I hoped, or maybe the songs not building on each other in the way that I hoped, isn't necessarily like an indictment against the quality of the music. Every band has their big singles and then they have their album tracks, and maybe this is just that. And also, there are probably some fans that are just holding out for the EP. Like, okay, yeah, we've heard Spirit of London, we just want to hear the thing when it comes out, and we can just listen to it all the way through. So I'm just going to keep on doing what I'm doing, with that one caveat that once History Book is out, I think I really should spend some time, like sit with it for a bit, celebrate the fact that it's out, allow the era to kind of breathe, and then the next thing can come out afterwards, you know, after a little bit of time, and I've kind of refreshed and I'm ready to go. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know there was a lot to talk about this month. Hopefully you found it interesting. Overall, I'm in a good place. You know, I still feel pretty confident about what I'm doing. Maybe this month things haven't gone quite to plan, but it's fine. I'm really looking forward to April. I think between the Irish famine and the London gig, I think we're going to be looking at a much more successful month. Let's see what happens. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you in another video.